Darnell Savage hopes to follow in the footsteps of DJ Moore and other recently overlooked players from Maryland in the NFL. When DJ Moore submitted his name to the NFL's College Advisory Board last year, he was told it'd be in his best interest to return to Maryland. Moore went against their advice, though, and in the months before the draft he went from a shunned early entrant to a potential first-round pick, ultimately becoming the first wide receiver taken in the draft by the Carolina Panthers, who selected him no. 23 overall. Moore impressed at the NFL Combine beforehand, but he wasn't the prototypical workout warrior who underachieved in college. He was a star hidden in plain sight all along, a self-made player who blossomed into the best receiver in the Big Ten as a junior. Moore wasn't the first overlooked player to come out of Maryland, and he won't be the last. The next one, in fact, could be one of Moore's classmates, Darnell Savage. Savage, like Moore, was viewed more as a mid-round pick at the start of the draft process. But he is already boosting his stock and putting himself in the conversation for one of the best safeties in the draft. Savage was named the best defensive back at Senior Bowl practices this week. "I thought my guy, Nasir Adderley, did well for the most part today. Had a couple bad reps, but he definitely looked the part of a first-round talent in my eyes." The battle between him, Deontay Thompson, and "I'm gonna day it" Darnell Savage for SAF1 is gonna be fun. But Savage, just as Moore did, measured bigger than expected at the Senior Bowl. He also drew praise for his leadership and how he's conducted himself in interviews. He has many of the same intangibles, the work ethic, the competitiveness, the character, that led to teams preferring Moore over Calvin Ridley. He also has the accompanying game film and production, and the versatility to still be an asset even if he doesn't become a full-time starter at safety. In other words, as was the thought process with Moore, if Savage doesn't stick at his natural position, he could still move to the slot and provide value as a nickel corner. Nasir Adderley. Draft media loves the former while sleeping on the latter, knocking Savage for a lack of size. Today's measurements. Adderley 5,117, 195 pounds, 30 3/4, Savage 5,110, 199 pounds, 30 5/8. James Thomas, at James Thomashed, January 22, 2019. It's no coincidence that Moore and Savage, despite playing on different sides of the ball, have similar profiles. Having grown up about an hour away from each other == Moore in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and Savage in Newark, Delaware. They've been friends since high school and arrived at Maryland together in 2014. They were two of the hardest working and most respected players during their time in College Park. Moore, though, was a year ahead of Savage in terms of readiness when he got to college, perhaps in part because he played against tougher competition in high school and Savage broke his leg as a junior. Both of them, however, established themselves as the Terps' best players on offense and defense respectively by year 3, as Moore donned Stefon Diggs' No. 1 and Savage inherited Will Likely's No. 4. Savage then took his game to another level as a senior, proving to critics that his size wouldn't prevent him from making plays at the line of scrimmage. Totaled 52 tackles, 4 interceptions and 5.5 tackles for a loss for an improved Terps defense in his final year after not having any TFLs as a junior. Savage said in an interview on the Glenn Clark radio show this week that he has been inspired by the success Moore and other overlooked Terps in recent years, including Stefon Diggs, Yannick Ngakoue and J.C. Jackson, have had in the NFL. Savage's apprenticeship under Likely, who'd perhaps be in the NFL as well if he didn't tear his ACL as a senior, has also been well documented. He has always been the type of player to go the extra mile and soak up every bit of information he can from those who came before him. I think it just goes to show a lot what hard work and dedication will do for you, because all of those guys carry themselves a certain way, Savage said of his teammates' NFL success. Eventually, if you keep working hard and keep carrying yourself that way, then eventually good things are going to happen. but more, who he calls his best friend, is the one who he talks to most and is leaning on during the draft process. Despite his busy schedule, Savage said Moore always gets back to him when he calls or texts him with a question. Savage, though, views Moore as a peer. When Clark asked him if he wouldn't mind going to Carolina so he doesn't have to play against Moore and his speed, Savage, true to form, said he'd welcome the challenge of defending his former teammate. Their practice battles at Maryland, after all, were hardly one-sided. DJ and I have been going against each other for a long time, even in high school and college as well, Savage said. Both of us just love competition and I think we bring the best out of each other. Said it'd be fun to go against him again. More on Savage from the Senior Bowl. Raiders were intrigued by Maryland safety Darnell Savage heading into the Senior Bowl, and came away impressed with him and his versatility after 3 practices coaching him on the North squad. Scott Bear, at Barron BCS, January 24, 2019. Darnell Savage was another prospect who had a solid day. He was the clear leader in the North team's secondary, putting others in the right positions and calling out checks pre-snap. Jordan Reed, at JRightNFL, January 24, 2019. Darnell Savage having none of it. pic.twitter.com/F7LXVCper9, Carter Donick, at CDON Scouting, January 24, 2019. Darnell Savage is unreal. Dude is an aggressive boss and can play anywhere a DB could but outside and single high. He can man up TEs or act in a Derwin James pseudo-LB type role. He just has a natural knack for the football. He's a complete beast. Dude is a great player. Nick Farabaugh, at Farabaugh January 23, 2019. North practice completed. Some quick winners include Terry McLaurin WRO Dexter Williams RB Notre Dame Chris Lindstrom Og Boston College Donald Parham Tay Stetson Darnell Savage DB Maryland Andy Isabella UMass Full Day 1 report should come tonight or tomorrow morning. Carter Donick, at CDON Scouting, January 22, 2019. I will die on that hill. https://t.co/bizlist8szm. Steve, at SteveAdraft_, January 25, 2019. Darnell Savage has fantastic instincts. Watch him read the QB's eyes the whole way and have the burst to jump the route and take this ball to the house. pic.twitter.com/XQL742 Asfalk. The Scouting Report, at Scouting, January 25, 2019.